It's a rare opportunity to see history right before your very eyes, as some of the most skilled conservators work their magic on bringing to life precious artifacts from the most famous Civil War ironclad in history. And best of all, it's right here in our very own backyard, as we take you behind the scenes to see what goes on inside the very intriguing USS Monitor Batten Conservation Facility right here at the Mariners Museum.
Well, these artifacts were recovered so that the general public, myself, and visitors to the museum could actually learn from the wreck. You know, it's 16 miles offshore, so it's difficult for people to get an idea of what the artifacts are about. So what we've done here at the Mariners Museum inside of the conservation facility is try to provide a window, literally, for people to view what is going on in the lab. So behind me you'll see these large viewing windows, of which we have 3 banks of those. And they face the guns in the carriages, the revolving gun turret, which is just over my shoulder, and the engine tank. And that's awesome because people on a day-by-day basis can watch us treating these artifacts. At the same time, we have occasions where these artifacts are obstructed from view or out of sight. Well, we also have 3 web cameras positioned around the lab. They're real-time, they're available 24 hours a day on our website, and so visitors can see whatever it is we're working on. We'll target those specifically to artifacts. For example, like when Eric's working on our Worthington pump, we'll zoom the camera in there and visitors can see what he's doing step by step over the course of the day.
What we have right here is a cast iron piece that was part of the valve gear for the pump. It's basically a steam engine driving on this side, driving a water pump on this side, and this is part of the valve gear. It's made out of cast iron, but I'm removing some of the corrosion and crust that's built up over all the time underwater. We make a lot of progress each day on different parts of the ship, such as this pump, and there'll be a time when all of them will be on display to the public, but it is always a new challenge every day for us, and certainly it takes time, but that's because we want to do a really thorough job, make sure these will be on display for many, many years to come.
For everything this space has to offer and for everything the visitors can see here, including the webcams and the windows, there's another little jewel we have tucked away in an upstairs portion of the lab. It's what we call our dry lab or clean lab. And up there we do a lot of different activities. Very small, fine detailed cleaning of certain artifacts, particularly organic materials like wool coats, as well as small metal artifacts, pieces of ammunition, chloride testing, a lot of analytical work up there. It's an entirely different space. It has a different feel, a different look. The big industrial equipment from the ship, it's very, very interesting, but they don't tell the personal side. And that's what's neat about our collection. We don't just have big items, we have small items that were related to the men that served aboard the ship. A great example is the wool coat that was recovered from inside of the revolving gun turret. It was found buried under sediment, which helped preserve it, and now, because of its very fragile nature, it takes a lot of effort to conserve it. So it's neat that these pieces still exist and basically give us an idea of the chaos the night of the sinking and the personal side of these men scrambling for their lives, trying to get off the ship.
Well, this is one of the cleaning techniques that we use to get silt and very fine silt out of the smaller artifacts. It's an ultrasonic cleaner. I have a couple of rivets in there right now. It takes a long time in general. Pretty much everything we do here takes quite a long time. And the end result is that we will preserve all these pieces from the USS Monitor. They'll be available for generations to view in the future.
So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm removing concreted material off of a small copper alloy object, which basically happens to be, it's a bullet. It's conservation, but sort of unlike a fine art, it's archaeological conservation. Some of the stuff that we learn in the treatment process and in the conservation end can help us tell the story and give us avenues, such as x-rays, because it really gives us a way of seeing the interior of an object without having to take it apart. So this way there's other scientific avenues that you can also use to kind of find those little secrets. There's different types of instrumental analysis and different types of equipment. We can find out what it's made out of, how it was made, little clues that kind of add in and tell the story at the end of the day.
Most conservation labs are fairly inaccessible to the public, but that's not the case here. The idea is to attract visitors to come through the facility and see what's happening on a daily basis. And I encourage visitors to come to the museum. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. You'll have a unique opportunity to see what happens behind the lab doors, watch activities in real time, and then see the end product, which is these artifacts safe and stable and conserved on display.